as soon as I saw the placements are near, I knew that I should have a target.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Learning Bridge. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. तो यार आज है सैटरडे एंड अगेन वापस हम आ चुके हैं एक और बहुत ही फ्रेश इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस के साथ में। तो पहले तो बता दूं, इस वीडियो में हमारे साथ अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करने के लिए अमनदीप सिंह। और जैसा कि तुम लोग टाइटल में या थंबनेल में देख पा रहे होगे कि भाई एक तरफ है Amazon और एक तरफ है पेपैल। सो सेम कंडीशन अमनदीप के साथ भी थी, उनके पास ऑफर तो दोनों कंपनी से थे, बट अब तुम लोग अगर पूरा इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस देखोगे तो तुम्हें खुद इस चीज का आंसर मिल जाएगा कि उन्होंने किस कंपनी को चूज करा एंड क्यों चूज करा। तुम लोगों के साथ भी कभी न कभी भाई ये सिचुएशन आ सकती है जहां पर तुम्हारे पास बहुत ही टॉप नॉच कंपनी से ऑफर्स हो और तुम लोग कंफ्यूज हो कि क्या करना चाहिए क्या नहीं करना चाहिए। तो वो यहां से तुम्हें पता लग जाएगा। एंड जो भी कंपनी उन्होंने चूज करी है उसका पूरा इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस उन्होंने हमारे साथ शेयर करा है, अप्लाई करने से लेके कैंपस में कितना सीजीपीए चाहिए होता है, कितने राउंड्स, क्या टॉपिक्स, क्या सब्जेक्ट्स, वो सारा उन्होंने हमें बताया है। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट हमने और भी चीजें डिस्कस करी हैं, जैसे कि उनकी प्रोग्रामिंग जर्नी, कैसे उन्होंने स्टार्ट करा, क्या यूजफुल रिसोर्सेज उन्होंने फॉलो करे, एंड इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस लाइक कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ परसेंटेज वी शुड डिवाइड फॉर कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग, फॉर कोर्स ये सब्जेक्ट्स, for projects, and some secret sources to ask for a referral on professional platform like LinkedIn. And यार एंड में अगर वीडियो पसंद आता है तो लाइक जरूर कर देना so that ये और लोगों तक रिकमेंडेशन में पहुंच जाए, क्योंकि उससे और लोगों को भी हेल्प होगी। And if you are new to the channel then make sure you hit the subscribe button because 2021 is about to end and we are also about to reach 10k subscribers. So help me to reach that target. एंड अब बिना टाइम वेस्ट करे खोलते हैं अपने इंटरव्यू सेशन की दुकान और चलते हैं इंटरव्यू सेशन की तरफ। Hi Mandeep, welcome to my channel and I'm really glad to have you on this show. So let's quickly start with our question hour part. First I would ask you to quickly introduce yourself.
Okay, so hey Shashank, thanks for having me here. Hey everyone, my name is Amandeep Singh. I'm from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, and I recently completed my BTech from Vellore Institute of Technology, VIT Vellore. And I am from BTech Information Technology, and that's all.
Okay, Mandeep. So based on our initial conversation, I got to know about that you had offer from Amazon, you had offer from PayPal. So my next question would be, when these companies visit to our campus or let's say hiring for off campus, then what kind of CGPA criteria they used to put in? And next important part would be, why did you choose PayPal over Amazon?
Yeah, I get the same question many a times, Shashank. So to answer the first question, yes, definitely. Amazon, Cisco, PayPal, all of these companies did visit our college in the slot one itself. Slot one is basically the first slot in which the super dream companies visit our college. And I had my interviews from Amazon, Cisco, and PayPal. All I was shortlisted in like all of them. And the reason let me start with the criterias right first. So the Amazon criteria was 7 CGPA and then followed by resume shortlisting. Like they see your resume based upon the profile which they're hiring for. And then for PayPal, it was again the same, that the CGPA barrier was across 8, and it was a very strict resume filtering for PayPal, because only out of 2,500 participants, just 500 were shortlisted for the interview, like for the first round itself. And for the interview, only 11 people were selected from my college. And in Amazon, around 2,500 gave the test, and just 100 of them were shortlisted for the first round itself. So very tough neck to neck competition, but it was glad that I could make to the final rounds of both the companies. Choosing PayPal over Amazon was a slightly difficult question for me, because what happened in my college was that in slot one, the entire results were announced on the single day, and after all the companies' results had been declared, and we were just given half an hour to choose whichever company you wanted. So I was announced to be chosen as an intern in Amazon as well as in PayPal, and I had just half an hour to decide whether I want to go with Amazon or whether I should go with PayPal. So I had already researched a little bit before. I had known about the culture, their work life balance policies and all. PayPal and Amazon were almost equal in both. The only thing which was important at that time was the conversion rate. So Amazon was hiring around 17 people from my college, and PayPal was hiring only one person from my college as an intern, and that was me. So I thought a conversion ratio better for PayPal, and that was the reason I went to PayPal. And I'm really happy that I made that decision because today I'm in PayPal.
Okay, Mandeep. So now you're working as a full-time employee at PayPal. So please share the complete interview process of PayPal in the on-campus drive. Like how many rounds will be there and what kind of topics, questions those interviewers will be asking to us.
So, Shashank, as I mentioned, PayPal is very strict about the kind of roles it is looking for and the kind of resumes it takes in for those particular roles. Your resume has to be very crisp. Your resume has to exactly portray your brand that, yeah, you are the one that has to fit in the company. And that was the reason that only 500 students were selected for the first round, that is the online coding round. So, in the online coding round, two questions were asked, and we were given around 1.5 hours to complete all the two questions. And the two questions which were asked, they were pretty hard. I won't say they were even of medium level. The first question I would rate it as a mid range between medium and a hard level. And the second question which was asked, it was a pretty decent hard level question of DP, which involved DP with graphs. And it was pretty hard. And was able to clear the first question for all the test cases, and in the second question I aced out 11 out of the 13 test cases, so two test cases were still missing in mine. And the difficulty being the reason only 11 students were shortlisted for the second round, for the basically the interview rounds. And the interview round started for me. The first interview round was having the start as a complete detailed discussion on JavaScript, because they were looking for JavaScript roles or any other roles or JavaScript proficiency in the students. So for me, the first round was completely JavaScript, followed by one question on DSA, which was directly from Geeks for Geeks. So it was not a very difficult one. I was like great in that interview, and the interviews loved my response on that. The second round was a little bar raised, as we say it's to be a bar raiser. And in the second round, the questions which were asked were completely from DSA. The first question was on trees, and it was a pretty medium level question on trees, in which I had to myself redesign the algorithms. It was not a direct algorithm based question on trees. And the second question was again on DP, and it was again a hard level question. And the interviewer and me spent around 30 minutes just discussing the approach towards that problem. Okay, try improving this or try improving this. He was giving very valuable suggestions. We had a great talk. So that kind of talk actually brings out the answers from you, is all I can say. That during the interviews, if you are talking to your interviewer, if you are doing the think aloud approach in which you are writing and telling out what you're doing, is what the interview was like. And that was what he liked about me. Then I was going for the last interview, which was done by the directors of the company, which had come in for the placements. So the last level was in which there was complete design level question. They asked me to design a good problem, and it was related to a hotel management system in which they had put some test cases around that. So that was a kind of design level problem. We had around an hour of discussion on that, followed by again the discussion on JavaScript, because the director was extremely proficient in JavaScript. He had around 2 or 3 patents in Node.js, and that was the reason he was looking towards entertaining more on JavaScript. Like, he wanted to bring out any kind of knowledge which I had on JavaScript, and that was the whole point. I was liking the interview so much. I was enjoying, he was enjoying with the discussions we were having on JavaScript. So I really loved that interview.
So Amandeep, please share your interview preparation plan with our viewers, like how you were doing it, what kind of resources you were following, how your programming journey started, and along with that, how you were managing all these things along with your classes and college curriculum.
So for me, as soon as I entered into college, right, we have this amazing fest named Gravitas in VIT, and it included a 24-hour long non-stopping coding event. And I was personally very much interested in coding, especially in Java, throughout my basically the school life. And as soon as I joined VIT, I joined that basically that competitive programming competition. And I was around the 12th or the 13th member in that competition, and I felt so bad that why I don't have that thing to be on the top three or even the top person in that competitive programming. Why I'm not, why I'm lacking that knowledge. Why I don't know these algorithms, these are the advanced level of algorithms, and that was what was exactly the push for competitive programming in me. So the first year I spent a decent amount of time on HackerRank, because at that point of time I was not knowing anything apart from HackerRank. It was a different level story back then in 2016, because I just entered, so I was not knowing anything about CodeChef, Geeks for Geeks, or Lead Code, or etc. I was just knowing HackerRank because the most competitions I had done was on HackerRank during the school level itself. So that was the aim in which I exactly started competitive programming. uh, Preparing for placements was exactly started in the third semester, after the first year, in which I saw my seniors walking in that placement dresses and coming out with files. I asked them, I just talked to them, what exactly are the level of questions asked, and they said it's pretty decent level of questions which are being asked. You won't find them directly on any kind of platforms if you want to go for very good product based companies. I thought they were just joking around, so I spent a little more time on my projects. I spent a little more time on my club activities. I did not focus at that point. But as soon as I saw the placements are near, I knew that I should have a target. So personally had a target for me that I should be the first programming, first on the first position in the programming for Geeks, from my college. So if anybody wants to look at Geeks for Geeks, they would, like, at that point they would see that Amandeep Singh is on the first number, and that was why I wanted. That's what the spirit I wanted to go into placements for. If a person asked me during the placements, I would say that I am the first person in Geeks for Geeks from my college, and that would show the amount of preparation I've done for the placements. So I spent entire time coding on Geeks for Geeks. I solved around 1100 or 1200 questions on Geeks for Geeks, and that was the confidence which I built in up, so that any kind of question which comes in, I know I have done something similar to it, or I do know the logic for this, because the basics were so clear. I would definitely say that Geeks for Geeks is a site which can bring in your basics very clear. And once you are done with Geeks for Geeks, go for HackerRank, go for Lead Code. In that case, you will have a complete roadmap of starting from the basics and then conquering the hard level questions.
Okay, Mandeep. So, according to you, to crack any good company, what kind of percentage we should divide to the competitive programming, to our core CS subjects, and to the projects when someone prepares for the interviews during his college time?
Based upon my personal experience, I would definitely say that 50% of your attention should definitely be towards competitive programming and to build your logics. Because once they are built, you will build good projects and you will definitely improve your overall problem solving skills, right? So I'll say that you should focus at least 50% of your time in competitive programming, around 20% on your core subjects, because most good product based companies talk a little less on OS, computer architecture, and other networking subjects. It is done by some companies, but for me, it was not done in any kind, not even in Amazon, not even in PayPal. They didn't ask me any of the core subjects, because they are mostly interested in what is your problem solving approach, because they do hire non-CS background, right? So non-CS background would not have much knowledge on core values. I would definitely say have some basics of those, not just completely ignore the core subjects, but definitely have some basics, but don't go into the depth. So, and just leave out your competitive programming and your projects. The project should be around 30%, in which, even if you have just a single project, make it such a way that it should be your personal idea. It should not be taken from the internet. It should not be coded by someone else. It should be coded definitely by you, and all the inputs should have been by you. A good amount of research should be spent on that project. Why are you doing it? And even if you have just one this good project in a resume, the companies will like it, because you have spent a lot of time on that project. You have built it on your legs. So that is the amount of preparation I'm talking about. Projects, have just one or two, but have it a flawless project in which you design the idea yourself, go for the research, and then plan out the project, which framework you want to use, and just design all the project which you want.
Okay, Mandeep. So we have seen this issue with couple of freshers who are just entering to the college, and even I had that kind of doubt. Like when we enter into the college, then there are lots of things to start from the day zero, and most of the time we are confused with the topic like which language should I start, which language should I start learning. So that kind of doubts we used to have in our initial days. So please throw some light based on your experience that how we should plan our starting 1 or 2 year in the college life.
I have never felt that a language can be a barrier towards coding, right? I have always been in the favor of C++ as well as Java, because there is always a fight on the community, right? That C++ over Java in competitive programming, and then Java over C++ in industry when it comes to actually implementing the projects, right? So this is a very different approach, but I have never favored any programming language. I have learned C++ as well as Java, but I'll say for any CS guy who is just entering into the college, choose just one. Because if you fumble into 2 3 programming languages, you cannot have a complete understanding of a single one, and the proficiency you should have only in one. Because when you're doing the DSA, right, you should know the basics of that language so that you can make anything out of that. You can code what you want. You don't have to go every time to Google and search the syntax for it, because that would actually decrease a lot of your time, and it would waste a lot of time for your career, right? So what you have to do is you have to build a proficiency in just a single language. Choose Java or C++, whichever you want. I personally chose Java, being the same reason I had researched that it is used in the industry, but not favoring Java or C++ here. It's just my language which I chose. I'll say after you have chosen your language, start building up with basics. After basics, go for the hard level algorithms. Don't just directly go and solve a hard level question thinking that you will solve it. It's obvious you won't be able to do it because it's a normal human level thinking. You can't develop DSA or algorithms overnight, right? You have to work pretty hard. You have to have a decent level of basics understanding, and then you have to go for the higher level of implementations. Another thing which I would like to say is, in their second year or in their third year, they can either buy the book, or they can download the PDF format for cracking the coding interview. That book actually helped me a lot. I read that book. It has riddles, it has core CS questions, it has interview questions which are high, like 100 most important asked interview questions, and it is pretty good, in which they tell you not only the answer but the way how you should tell that answer. Most of us know the logic behind a code, but we can't explain the same to the interviewer. The way we want to explain the interviewer is thinking that the interviewer is a person who doesn't know anything about DSA. That should be a point. You should start from the basic, how you thought that is an approach, which data structure you're using, why are you using. All these points should be covered, and that is the way I would want a beginning CS guy who is just coming in to follow this roadmap.
All right, Amandeep. So I will wrap up this session with one last and final question, and that is, most of the time people find it really difficult to ask for a referral on platform like LinkedIn, because what happens, they don't even know how to approach someone and how to ask for a referral. Based on your experience, what are the some important and secret sources that someone can follow to ask for a referral on LinkedIn?
Asking for referrals on LinkedIn is actually very tough, not only for the person who is asking the referral, but also for the person who is giving the referral. Because when you fill out the referral form in your company internal portal, your name does get attached to that person. You are responsible for why you are referring him, whether he's actually a good candidate or not. So exactly when you are approaching a person on LinkedIn, I'll tell what I used to do. First, I used to talk to that people, understand about the company. If he's having some amount of time, like 10 to 15 minutes, he can have a verbal conversation with me. That I'll just ask, I'll just portray why I am a good role for that company. I'll tell him how I have prepared for that company, and not just bluntly ask him, can you please give me a referral? That is not possible, right? I have to first introduce myself, how I'm learning for your company, why am I a good fit for your company, how much preparation I've actually done, how much hard work I've been following through months or years for targeting this company. I have to tell him, I have to make sure that he understands my hard work, and then understands that why I'm a good fit for the company. Then I should send him my resume. I should tell him these are the points which you can directly say are matching to the job role which I have found. And in this way, you can please give me a referral. It would definitely help me a lot. So the person is definitely tempted to look into your resume because you've already shared your hard work experience through a verbal conversation. And in that case, he does know that if he refers you, you are definitely a probably good candidate, because he has matched the same roles to the company's job portal, right? And that is what will actually give you a job referral.
Okay, Mandeep. So before ending this session, I would like to thank you very, very much for spending your precious moments with us and sharing your knowledge, your experience with our viewers. And I found this session really informative, and I hope whatever experience you have shared with us, that is going to help a lot of freshers to prepare themselves for any good product based companies like Amazon and PayPal. So thank you very much, Amandeep, and all the very best for your future.
I'm glad that I could share my experience and help your followers and everybody who sees this video.
So that's it for today's video guys. I hope यार तुम लोगों को ये वीडियो पसंद आई होगी अमनदीप के साथ में, एंड जो भी उन्होंने टिप्स बताई हैं, जो एक्सपीरियंस तुम लोगों के साथ शेयर करा है, एंड तुम लोगों को अच्छा लगा हो तो मेक श्योर यार लाइक बटन दबा देना, क्योंकि तुम लोग लाइक और कमेंट करोगे तभी ये वीडियो आगे दूसरे लोगों तक पहुंचेगी, वरना जहां पे है वहीं पे पड़ी रहेगी एंड ज्यादा लोगों को नहीं पता लग पाएगा कि कैसे इन चीजों के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है. So that's what I had for you guys today. So मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट सैटरडे एक और बहुत ही तगड़े इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस के साथ में, जिसमें कि बहुत ही अच्छा चीज आने वाला, तुम लोग मतलब भयंकर मोटिवेट हो जाओगे. तो मेक श्योर चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करके रखना, नोटिफिकेशन आइकन दबा देना, एंड जल्दी ही मिलते हैं. तब तक के लिए जस्ट स्टे सेफ, स्टे होम, टेक केयर योरसेल्फ एंड योर फैमिली टू. बाय बाय.